Purple Eagles Weekly is brought to you by Ant Pro Sports Elite Team Gear, Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers, Steve Baldo Ford in Niagara Falls, Crown Plaza Hotel Niagara Falls, the official hotel of Niagara Athletics, and by Pepsi.
Welcome to Purple Eagles Weekly here on Time Warner Cable Sports Net, your exclusive source for updates on Niagara Athletics, keeping you informed as to what's going on with the Purple Eagles. Big show for you scheduled tonight. We'll speak with Hobie Baker Award finalist Paul Zynette. Also get a state of the program update from Niagara. But first we're going to start with, well, the boys of summer, kind of, even though it's not quite summer just yet. As the weather gets warmer, as the daylight hours extend, we start thinking about baseball. And Rob McCoy is with us, coach of the baseball team. You know, it's funny, I think it's getting nicer around here. We're thinking about baseball. You're already in full-fledged baseball mode and have been for quite some time.
Yeah, we're 20 games in. The NCAA has a common start date of this. It's the second weekend in February that we all start playing, and you know, we obviously have to go south. We can't play anywhere near here in that time frame, but so we've had 5 weekends on the road already.
20-game road trip, essentially.
Yep.
How is that to really bring a team together? It seems to me that professional teams will actually talk about this. Training camps sometimes are away from home because it helps bring a team close together. Would you say that it worked for your guys that way?
Yeah, I think every team's different. I mean, I've had teams in the past that it was the exact opposite. But this team has really come together in our time. We spend time in hotels, we spend time on the bus, and it could go either way. And we're fortunate that the road trip has helped our team become closer, and actually we play better because of it.
And over the course of those 20 games, you've made some pretty big stops with some ranked teams as well, Wichita State, Virginia Tech, Kentucky, Pitt as well. So over the course of the tournament, what did you find out about your team, and what do you think the players found out about this team? Well,
my goal in scheduling those teams was to challenge us to the greatest, and obviously we did that. I told the guys yesterday that we've been in every situation we could be in. We've been down big, down small, up big, up small. You know, we've been in every situation. So I feel like that did a very good job of preparing us. We've seen the best pitchers we could see offensively. You know, we've seen great hitters to pitch against. So it's been a great experience. It's helped us really come into ourselves and grow up. We've got a young team, so we needed to grow fast.
And you feel like scheduling difficult competition is a good way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what's going to challenge us the most. I mean, we can play other teams more similar to us and really not be put in any of those situations. But it's a testament to the guys too. We helped ourselves put the team in that situation. So it's definitely been challenging.
Well, after a 20-game road trip, just how antsy are you and is everyone else to get home for the home opener and to be in this area and finally be back at home?
Oh, extremely. I mean, it feels great to, you know, not just play at home, but to be at home. You know. These guys have class to go to. They have they need to get their lives together, you know, and so we'll wake up on Saturday morning and have a home game, go to our own field, and start playing that part of our schedule. Opening
day is this Saturday. Tell us about the outlook for the team this season.
Well, I think like I said, we're young on the mound. We've got an experienced offense, defense coming back. So we replaced a lot of the guys we lost with junior college players that have been able to step in right away and do a good job. So we're going through some growing pains on the mound, but like I said, I feel like our schedule has helped us through that. We're going to play great defense and we're going to hit. We just need to compete every day on the mound, and whatever we get out of them, you know, is a bonus. So we're looking forward to that.
Your third year as head coach, 27-21 in conference play. What have you learned over the course of that time coaching?
Well, I've learned that we need to get better. You know, I mean, we're 27-21 is okay, but we still haven't made the conference tournament yet, and I'm certainly not okay with that, and the team's not okay with that. So, you know, when our main priority is to go recruiting and make sure that we put a good talented product on the field. You know, we've competed and we'll continue to compete hard. But it's a dogfight in our conference, and our conference is getting better. Every team has done well this early season, and that's going to up the ante for everybody.
You mentioned some of your young pitchers, Joel Clark and Drew Fitchery as well. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing in their game that you think you can, I guess, enhance or you can bring out in them?
Yeah, well, I think maturity, number one. I mean, like I said, our young pitchers have been through some situations where they've had to grow up fast, and both of those guys are local guys, and they've done well in this area, and so they were able to step in, and they had the experience, they have the maturity to be able to take them and learn from what we're teaching them, learn from their experiences, and help them be successful.
Well, we're going to come up next with John Wilson. He's going to join us in your very seat. So what can you tell us about John?
John's been great. I mean, he was one of the junior college kids that we brought in. He's from Lackawanna College in Pennsylvania, and when I was recruiting him and his teammate Eric Hink, the one thing that I wanted to make sure was that we got a middle infield. We've struggled with our defensive play in the middle in the last 2 years, so that was my number one priority, and they've been better than I could have expected them to be. He plays a solid defense. He gives us a chance to drive in runs in the middle of our order, and he's starting to develop into a great team leader, which is what we need out of that position.
Well, after 20 games on the road, welcome home, and best of luck this week.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Home opener is Saturday against the defending conference champions, Ryder. So we'll update on the baseball season as we go along here on Purple Eagles Weekly. The aforementioned John Wilson when we return and continue with baseball here on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. Back here on Purple Eagles Weekly on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet with John Wilson of the baseball team, junior infielder and pitcher. We just heard what Coach had to say about you. We should probably follow with what you would say about Coach.
Well, he's a great guy, great recruiter. He really sold the school, sold the program. I like what he had to say. I like what I saw when I came here. He really was inspiring me to choose what college I wanted to move on to next. And when I came here, I liked the program, I liked the facilities. I just liked him as a person overall. And where you want to play and where you want to go next, you want to like the coach, you want to have a good relationship with him. And I think he gave me the best chance to play and to be comfortable.
Well, you're playing shortstop and transferred over from Lackawanna College. You say, you liked what you heard from him. What was it that he sold John in particular? I mean, is there a style of baseball coach? Is there a certain kind of coach you like to play for versus another kind?
Well, coming from Lackawanna, I had a pretty tough coach. Didn't really. He pushed you to excel the best that you can, and I saw that in Coach McCoy when he came, when I talked to him, and I thought that he had similar coaching ways, I guess you could say, as my previous coach. So I think the familiarity and that's what basically drove me to come here.
Well, your first season with the team, and we talked about in the first segment that 20-game road trip, longest road trip you've ever really been a part of, right?
Yeah, I would say so. In the past, we've gone on to about a week-long road trip, but we've come home for a few days, and I think there was a stretch where we were gone for I think 12 days playing Virginia Tech, George Mason. And you face a lot of great competition, a lot of top D1 schools across the nation, and I think that was a great experience to have for our team and individual, and I think that's going to make us better as a team.
I asked Coach if the road trip itself kind of brought you guys together. He said some teams that does happen for, some teams it doesn't. He said this team he thought, yes. And as a new player to the team, a newcomer, would you say it was probably the perfect environment to really get into the family that is the team?
Yeah, I think we have great chemistry so far. we've seen. Great guys on the team, great personalities, and I think, you know, if you don't have that, when you get together for long periods of time like that, you kind of could, you know, tear apart, become, you know, more alienated from teammates. So I think it's quite the opposite. We came together, and I think we meshed pretty well.
Well, the home opener is this Saturday against the MAC champions, defending MAC champions. For anyone that comes out to watch you, you're playing shortstop. You lead the team with 4 home runs as well. So, I mean, what kind of player are you? Complete? You consider yourself a complete player? Offensive, defensive games? I mean, you're just. Would you consider yourself a balanced player, a power hitter? I mean, how would you assess your own game?
Well, I strive to be a complete player. That's for others to say, really. I try my best. There's always room for improvement, though. So, you go out there, give it your best, whatever you can give to the team, and whatever can benefit the team as a whole.
Well, as a junior, you've got some time, obviously, to work on your game while here at Niagara. So what are the things specifically you want to work on? What would you like to get better at?
Well, you know, I think there's room for improvement in everything. Defense, offense. In the future here, I may get a few games on the mound. We'll have to see how that goes. But just overall become a better player, better leader, on and off the field.
Is your first love pitching then?
No.
Or is your first love shortstop?
I would say shortstop, yeah.
But you like to mix it up a little bit?
Yeah, I like getting on the mound here and there.
What, we're just throwing gas?
It's competitive. Yeah, well, I don't know. I got to work on the other pitches. They're not too developed yet. So
the D1 level of baseball, the guys at the plate can expose that kind of stuff?
Oh, for sure, definitely. That is a big difference going from a junior college to D1. Is they seem to be balanced hitters, great eyes at the plate. So you really gotta locate your pitches, or else they'll send it a long way.
Well, best of luck at shortstop. Best of luck sending other pitches a long way as well, which you seem to be doing this season. Junior infielder and pitcher John Wilson here on Purple Eagles Weekly. Up next, a Hobey Baker finalist, the Atlantic Hockey Association Player of the Year. Niagara's own Paul Zynette is up next on Purple Eagles Weekly. Welcome back to Purple Eagles Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy White, here with Paul Zynette, the Atlantic Hockey Association Player of the Year, Hobey Baker Award finalist. You've been on this show before. If we could go back 1 year in time, and I told you this was going to happen, would you believe me?
Absolutely not. I mean, it was quite a ride this year. I knew, myself and Brian, we'd have to play big roles on this team and, kind of put up big numbers. And, looking back a year ago, I couldn't have seen this, but, it's been awesome.
26 goals, 29 assists, 55 points in your senior year. The 10th Purple Eagle to score 50 goals and 50 assists for the 100-point club. At the start of the season, I remember you got off to a very, very hot start. At what point did you think, wow, what is this? What's going on? And how much did you think this could be a special year?
Around Christmas time, I kind of stopped and thought about it a lot. And, our team was having success. We had just come off a huge overtime win against Colgate to go on the break. Myself and Brian, we looked at our stats and you said, okay, we're doing pretty well, and kind of we're seeing, where we were at, nationally compared to everyone, and but we didn't look too much into it because, obviously the team comes first, and we wanted to win, and so we just kind of put it aside, and we kind of look into it here and there throughout the year, but it was pretty fun. What
kind of attention have you gotten since being named a Hobey Baker Award finalist? For anyone who maybe isn't a big college hockey fan, this is like the Heisman Trophy for hockey players, and to be named as a finalist, one of the 10 finalists, what's that been like?
It's been pretty awesome. I've gotten a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of emails from friends and family all over the place, and they've been real supportive. And but hey, you know what? It's not how our season wanted to end it. We would like to be playing right now. We would like to be going to the tournament, but it is what it is.
Well, you guys had a good year inside Atlantic Hockey, the first year ever in the conference. Do you feel like, as a senior on your way out, your job, you've got multiple jobs. Your job's to be the best player you can, but also to lead the next group of guys forward, including your younger brother, Mark. So as you walk out as seniors, you and Brian, do you guys look back and think that the program is in good hands? You've done what you can?
Yeah, we had a younger team this year. we knew aside from, producing and helping the team win, we had to kind of help the younger guys. I mean, we had, probably 7 or 8 freshmen, all who played a lot. And, as the season went on, guys like Ryan Rashid, Patrick Divjak, Scott Arnold, those guys really came to their own offensively. And, we tried to help them as much as we can. And I think leaving the program's in good hands. They're they're a young team, going to be a young team next year. And I think moving forward, they're going to be real good.
When you look back on your senior season, what will you remember? Aside from all the goals and all the assists.
I just, just being with the guys, we finished tied for first for wins in the conference, and that was huge. Winning a lot of games is always fun, but it was being with the guys and, coming to the rink every day, knowing it's my senior year and I'm not going to have to do this next year. Really going to remember it. So
what's next for you? We've got to find out. The 10 finalists get pared down to 3?
It gets pared down to 3 after this weekend. And then they call that the Hobie Hat Trick, and then the winner will be announced before the Frozen Four in a few weeks. And then what's next for you? And then I got to find a job for next year. Hopefully it's in hockey. I mean, I've been talking to a lot of teams. Had some offers to go actually finish the year in the East Coast League, but between my family, myself, my agent, the coaches, we felt right now it's not the best time to move on. We're kind of waiting it out and hoping something bigger comes along. Oh, well, congratulations on a fantastic career on and off the ice. What you've done at the university. I know the university is very proud of all the things that you've done, and best of luck in the Hobie Baker. And now, I know you won't say it, so I'll say it. PurpleEagles.com, you can actually vote. There's a voting element to the Hobie Baker Award. PurpleEagles.com, there's a story at the website. You can vote for Paul and try and push him along, and we'll see what happens. Best of luck to you. Up next, Ed McLaughlin, a State of the Program address next on Purple Eagles Weekly. Welcome back to Purple Eagles Weekly here on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. I'm your host, Jeremy White, here with Director of Athletics, Ed McLaughlin of Niagara University. And it's funny, we bring in coaches. We always talk about seasons changing. There's no off season for you. None. There's no off season, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think I'd get bored. Certainly my wife doesn't want to see me around the house very much. So, but it's nice, and it's nice that our spring seasons are going, and obviously baseball's been on a long road trip, so it'll be nice to have them come home. Well, let's talk about things that have happened in the last few years for the Purple Eagles and for the programs, because a turf facility for soccer and lacrosse came in 2008, upgrades at Dwyer Arena. Just an overview of what's happened, maybe what's next, what's in planning stages at this point. Yeah, we've been fortunate. I mean, when I first got here almost 5 years ago now, it was a big concern of mine, and certainly something I wanted to focus on is making the student-athlete experience better. And facilities are a huge part of that. They really are. Our student-athletes spend every day of their lives in those facilities, so we want to make sure they're the best we can make them. We've been able to do Dwyer, as you mentioned, in the turf field, and we did the weight room this summer, which was a huge improvement. We put $40,000 in the O'Malley weight room, which was much needed. And we have some more stuff on the horizon. We have the upper-level Gallagher Center is going to get done this summer. Locker rooms, offices, the stuff that's really, really badly needed for the student-athlete experience. And then in Bobo Field, we're going to try to bring baseball back on campus, so that'll be nice too. How much of a difference do you see, and I guess how much feedback do you get from athletes when there's a new facility that they get to go play in? It's their new home. When you see the looks on their faces, even during the construction, when it's being built and they see it and they take pictures on their phones and they send it around to their teammates, but when you see the looks on their faces the first day they go out and practice on it or the first game they have on it, it makes it all worth it. And the nice thing that we have is our student-athletes really, really appreciate everything they get. And when they do have new facilities, like we did with soccer and lacrosse for the turf field, it was like we gave them the keys to the castle. It was really, and the amount that they show their appreciation makes it all worth it for us. Talk me through the process, how you identify something that might need a change, how it's picked that, yes, you're going to go forward, and then all the way through completion. Well, I think a lot of it deals with our coaches going on the road, and certainly places I've been on the road, and seeing how facilities have changed. And you see a lot of this at the national level being talked about, of the facilities arms race. I'm not quite sure we're in a facilities arms race. We're not competing with Texas A&M or Missouri for their facilities, but you see different things and you see different ways maybe you can make the experience a little better. So you really try to prioritize that way of what needs it the most. And this summer our weight room really hadn't been changed in 11 years. So we really needed to address that, make the experience better for the student athletes, make them want to go and work out and lift weights and get stronger.
So we really try to prioritize that way and see what's our biggest need in terms of making the kids' experience better and what can help us in the recruiting battle, which other schools in our conference are doing, and certainly other schools within the area as well.
Tell us about the promise of Niagara the next 150 years. What does that mean?
It's our capital campaign for the university, but our component is the Kiernan Center and locker rooms. Now, we have outdoor teams, in baseball being one of them, but softball, the soccers, lacrosse, the tennises, the golfs, cross country, they don't have a locker room. You know, they all share locker rooms right now, and some of them are in the ice arena. So we really need to get those student athletes locker rooms, place they can call home, place they can really feel like they can settle. And that's a huge campaign for us right now. We're about a little less than $1 million to go to raise the money for that, and it's a huge push for us over the next 18 months.
Is there a project, or is that the one that's near and dear to you, really?
Well, they've all been near and dear. You know, I'm sort of that guy who, when he plays Legos with his kids, designs rinks and locker rooms and things like that. You know, I'm not the typical one who does race cars, you know, but I think they're all near and dear because I know how much the kids appreciate it. But the Kiernan Center for us is one that has to be done. And all of our projects have been privately funded, but this one's really, really important because I think if our teams have had the amount of success they've had without locker rooms, it's really going to be nice to see what they can do with them and the student athletes they can recruit in the future.
And then Bobo Field, of course, you mentioned briefly as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of baseball, and I really think you need to have baseball on your campus. The people at Niagara Falls have been great for us. The people at South Magley have been always taking care of us, and we're very, very appreciative of that. But we're in a campaign right now, a mini campaign, I'll call it, to bring baseball back on campus and phase a project in that we can get baseball back on field and back on campus and really do some nice things with Bobo Field.
Well, the home opener is Saturday, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks again to Rob McCoy, John Wilson, and Paul Zynette as well. A complete program here on Purple Eagles Weekly. That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you same time, same place here on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet.